Hey y'all, what's good, beautiful people? It's your girl Tay, and I am here yet again with another update video. So definitely make sure you guys smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe, plus push your post notification bell button so that when anytime I upload a video, you will be notified. You guys, we are working with natural light, and I am loving it. I do have my bedroom light on. I don't know why I go to tell you guys that all the time, but you know, I do. It is what it is. So anyways, today is mainly going to be about daily updates, things that I have seen in the news that I just want to keep you guys updated on. So the first thing that I saw that actually came out, 20 minutes ago, says Biden suggests he can't bring back the monthly child tax credit payments. Okay. This is an article. Okay, like I said, I usually take things with a grain of salt. Some of this stuff is true, some of this stuff be fluff pieces. President Joe Biden is signaling that monthly payouts for an expanded child tax credit probably won't make a comeback, even as he aims to get Congress to pass other parts of his social spending and climate package. There's two really big components that I feel strongly about that I'm not sure I can get in the package. This is coming specifically from Biden. One is the child tax credit. The child care tax credit, I'm sorry. The other is help for the cost of community colleges. Biden told reporters just yesterday during a news conference that came as a one-year mark of his presidency. They are massive things that I've run on. I care a great deal about, the president added, saying he'll keep coming back to those issues later and try to get them done. Okay, so, yeah, it's not looking too good for the child tax credit. You know what I mean? I honestly think that a lot of that has to do with unfortunate butthole, what's his name? Joe Manchin. Okay. It says the Biden White House last month also, the Biden White House. That sounds weird. Okay, the Biden White House last month also expressed openness to working with Republican Senator Mitt Romney on the CTC payouts after the Utah lawmaker called for a bipartisan approach on the issue. But Biden is now suggesting that he's more likely to focus on the other parts of his Build Back Better plan. The president on Wednesday said there is a support for more than $500 billion in his Build Back Better plan aimed at energy and environmental issues. And he noted that Manchin supported early education programs for 3- and 4-year-olds. The article pretty much ends there. There is no additional information revolving that, but yeah, it's looking like that's not going to come back. I still think that there's going to be quite a few Democrats that are going to push for that to show up in this social spending bill, whether it comes out in parts, because I have seen some other articles to suggest that they are now considering passing parts of the plan, breaking it down into smaller pieces just so that they can start to get things done. Whether or not that's a good thing, I can't honestly say right now, but it is what it is. Now, switching off of that, we've got a little bit of tea. We got a little bit of news. Not anything that's significant to your life or my life, but something that I thought was interesting and I wanted to share. It says a teenager tested positive for the virus and his mother put him in the trunk of her car because she didn't want to be exposed to the virus. And apparently she had been going to court, which she should have been, and she's not going to be charged for this. And y'all don't see anything wrong with our system? She put her teenager, I don't know how old this teenager was. It doesn't matter. If he was 17, you put him in the trunk because you don't want to be exposed. Really? It says the new variant, the Omicron, is still spreading fast across the country. And according to the numbers of the new virus cases, this wave won't end up anytime soon. However, it seems like some states already reached the peak of the Omicron wave as they are seeing slightly decreasing trend in new cases, which comes as a relief for hospitals amid staffing shortages and limited capacities. Those fully vaccinated and boosted are afraid of getting infected because the high transmissible Omicron variant easily invades both natural and vaccine immunity. Although vaccines provide a significant protection against developing severe condition and death, the best way, to stay protected of getting infected is to avoid indoor gatherings, wearing face masks, and maintaining social distancing, which, if you guys know, I've been talking about, people are having a hard time doing, even when it comes to shopping in a store. Like, that bothers me so freaking much. It's like people are oblivious, or they just don't care, or it's just not a big deal. I don't understand what the deal is, but I don't get it. Okay. Now, jumping back onto this particular topic with the woman who put her son in the trunk, it says this woman was identified as the 41-year-old S. Beam, and she decided to take her son to get confirmatory tests at a local testing site after the teenager received his first positive at-home test on January the 3rd. When they arrived at the drive-through testing site, the health services director at the site heard some weird noises coming from the trunk while Beam was waiting in the line to get tested. When they reached the giant tent, Beam got out of the car, opened the trunk, and asked the testing site employees to test her son for the virus, who was laying down inside the vehicle. Beam explained the director she locked him in the trunk because he had already tested positive and he had to be quarantined. The health services director refused to test the teenager and told Beam they could not receive a test until the boy was seated safely in the back seat. Good for them. Yes. Surveillance footage reportedly showed the 13-year-old exiting the trunk and climbing into the back seat. Luckily, the boy was not harmed in the incident. The case was reported to the authorities, and Beam, who recently worked as a teacher in the local school district but is currently on administrative leave. She needs to be fired, not on no administrative leave, not because this is affecting her ability to do her job, but just as a parent, it makes me wonder if you're doing this to your own children, if you don't have no sympathy, no empathy, it just makes me feel some type of way. Mothers generally have that natural maternal instinct when it comes to our children. I know when my kids are sick, for the most part, prior to the pandemic, if they're sickly, no, I don't want to catch it. So I avoid doing certain things with them. Like, we don't hug as much. We don't, you know what I'm saying? But I still go in their room. I still have to do their laundry. I still have to give them medication. I still have to be around them. That's just a part of parenthood. There's nothing you could do about that. You know what I mean? And I'm happy to do it because they're my children. I feel like nobody's going to take care of my kids better than me. So no, I don't think that this is affecting her ability to be a teacher. But at the same time, like I said, if she don't have sympathy for her own doggone kids, I don't think she would have sympathy for anybody else's. Can you imagine if she's putting her own child in a trunk of a car? If a child comes to school sniffing or coughing, may not be virus related, having anything to do with the pandemic, but just because she's already acting this way, I wonder what she would do to other people's children. You know what I'm trying to say? That's where my mind went, but whatever. Hold on. Okay, I thought something was going on outside. Following the evidence, Beam was initially charged with endangering a child for the January 3rd weird incident. This is a little bit more than weird. It is weird, but it's just downright stupid and dumb. Because if she had had a car accident, if someone had rear-ended her and her son is in the trunk, then what? You can't blame the person that rear-ended you because you put your son in the trunk in the first place. I'm just saying. However, a Texas judge last Thursday ruled that there was no probable cause to charge Beam. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not even go into the other thoughts that are running through my mind, but I just feel like if there were other, you know what, I'm going to leave that alone, but I think that's bull crap, okay? Despite Thursday's ruling, Beam isn't necessarily out of the woods yet, as prosecutors told KHOU, which I'm assuming is a newscast in Texas, in a statement that they may consider taking the case to a grand jury, and I think they will. We will review all evidence gathered by police and make a determination on how to proceed, including the possibility of presenting this case to a grand jury so that the representatives can decide whether a criminal charge is appropriate, okay? That's the end of the article, you guys. I just wanted to share that. Again, we need to be aware. She's a teacher. We need to be aware. Sometimes sending your kids to school, I know we have things to do. We got to work. We need our peace of mind. Sometimes for some of us who are single parents, sending your kids to school is the only little bit of peace that you get. But at the end of the day, it is your job as a parent to sacrifice for your children because they didn't ask to be here. So with that being said, just from her being a teacher, this is why I am hesitant about the school system just in general. There's a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, and you guys know that. I have been nothing but open and honest with you guys about these issues, and I'm going to continue to do so. But I just wanted to let y'all know this, moving back on to politics, okay? Listen to this. This came out yesterday by Newsweek. It says Ron DeSantis, which is the representative, I believe, of Florida, wants to push a bill to protect, not my words, literally verbatim, white people from guilt about racist past, okay? Again, so many other things in the world that we could be worried about right now. So many other things, but we're going to jump into this anyway. Governor Ron DeSantis' attempts to ban critical race theory in Florida moved forward on Tuesday as an education panel gave first approval to a bill that would prohibit schools and private businesses from making people feel guilty about the country's past. Okay, I don't want to keep saying the word. I'm just going to put it on the screen. The state's Republican-controlled Senate Education Committee approved the legislation called Individual Freedom in a vote along party lines. With the way that they be passing these bills for certain groups of people, but other groups of people have a hard time getting bills passed. People want to ignore the problems that are going on in the world. Yeah, that's where I am with this particular bill. The bill would bar employers from subjecting any individual as a condition of employment, membership, certification, licensing, credentialing, or passing an examination to training, instruction, or any other required activity that promotes certain concepts related to race and racism. For instance, it would prohibit employers from providing training that exposes, promotes, advances, and inculcates, I think I said that right, or compels people to believe they bear responsibility for or should be discriminated against or receive adverse treatment because of actions committed in the past by other members of the same race, color, sex, or national origin. It also prohibits making people feel discomfort, guilt, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress on account of his or her race, color, sex, or national origin. Now, let me stop there just to say to you guys, I 100% agree that it should not be a condition of employment to make people feel guilty about things that may have done from the fathers and the mothers of their past. Okay, going back generations and generation and generation. It should not in no way, shape, or form. My biggest issue with this bill is just the fact that why are we having this discussion when we're in the middle of a pandemic, when there are other things that we could be worrying about. You're worrying about people feeling guilty about things that have happened into the past, but we have a labor shortage going on. We have businesses that are struggling to keep staff employed because of the pandemic right now. But these are the conversations that you guys are choosing to have. Yet and still, people of the United States of America will still vote these jerks into office. I mean, I just have to say it, because why? Again, why are we having this conversation right now? There are other things that we can be discussing. There are other things that needs to be handled right now. What about homelessness? What about the fact that senior citizens are not receiving the financial assistance that they deserve? Okay, what about the disabled? There are a lot of conversations that need to happen that are not happening because people are trying to protect themselves from being, I mean, I'm not going to go into, but people are basically trying to protect their own butts. In my personal opinion, I feel like this is more so about him than anybody else. That's just my personal opinion. You obviously must feel some type of way already, okay? And so you want to make sure that nobody is able to further inflict their feelings of the past on you to make you feel guilty. If you feel guilty, I feel like it's not necessarily because of the sins of your father or your mother. It's maybe because you have some of them same behavior and characteristics traits right now. That's how I feel. But moving on. The bill would allow teachers to facilitate discussions on topics including sexism, slavery, racial oppression, and racial segregation in an age-appropriate manner, but it states that classroom instruction and curriculum may not be used to indoctrinate or persuade students to a particular point of view inconsistent with the principles of this subsection or state academic standards, okay? Although the legislation doesn't explicitly mention critical race theory, it echoes a call from DeSantis, who recently said he would push for legislation that would ban teaching of the concept in schools and allow employees to sue private employers if they receive training on critical race theories. Now, as a whole, I do think that people should learn to be sensitive to the different cultural backgrounds that people come from. And I say that as an African-American woman, but not only for myself, but for Muslims. There is plenty of discrimination going on. We've seen in the news, especially when the pandemic started and when the previous dumb president kept saying things like the virus came from China and all that other kind of stuff. There was a significant increase in violence amongst people who had Korean or Chinese backgrounds. Stuff like that doesn't need to happen, okay? In that perspective, I do believe that there needs to be some how do you say it? I don't even know the word, but there needs to be some type of training or course, and it doesn't have to be geared towards a specific race, but just as whole. Let's normalize treating everybody, regardless of where they come from, regardless of what their religious practices is, regardless of what they look like, regardless of their sexual preferences, regardless of any of that. Let's just normalize treating everybody like a human being. That is the only thing that I think should be incorporated into any training session, because the reality is that people, women, men, it doesn't matter, Muslims, African Americans, Hispanics, it doesn't matter. Many people of many different walks get discriminated against, get harassed on a daily basis based off of those things that I just mentioned. So I do think that that needs to continue to stay, as well as I would like to see something of that in schools. I haven't seen anything like that. I don't remember experiencing any course like that. The only thing that I remember experiencing in school was sexual education. I don't remember having a course or having a moment in school, whether it was in elementary or whether it was in middle school or even in high school, where they were teaching about what I just said. Basically, let's normalize treating everybody like they have a right to be here and live without being harassed based off of their background, okay? But we're going to move on for that. I just want you guys to be, aware, especially in Florida, because he's a representation of you guys and how you feel. At the end of the day, it may not be all of you, but everybody who voted for him, he's representing you. I just want to say that. I know I'm going to get I don't know if I'm going to get a whole lot, but I know I'm going to get some backlash in the comment section today, because I am really testing it. I'm really pushing it, but it's all right. These are the conversations that need to happen. And this is what I am here for. Not only just to provide information about pandemic EBT, which, by the way, no additional states have been approved for pandemic EBT. I did record a video. I am going to be releasing it soon, giving you guys all the information for pandemic EBT for this school year, as well as emergency SNAP maximum benefits, which I did check as well today on Thursday, and I did not see any additional states that have been approved for emergency SNAP maximum benefits for January, and there are no states that have been approved as of right now on the USDA website for February, because I know a lot of you guys are asking me. I would say give it until next week. There's a possibility that some states could pop up between today and tomorrow and even the weekend, but generally, if they're going to distribute benefits in February or in the next month, you'll start to see those names pop up a little bit closer to the end of the month. California is still not on there. I don't know what California is doing, y'all. I have no idea, but yeah. On that note, you guys, I am going to end this video off on there and let you guys know that I appreciate it if you would smash that like button, because it really does help to let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing and you want me to stick around. Also, don't forget to check out my merch shop. It should be a shelf linked below this video. Check it out, you guys. I believe you have the option, if you don't have the finances, to buy you something from our merch shop all at once. You can split it up into 4 individual payments over... It's every 2 weeks. So what is that? The next 2 months or something like that? I'm just saying, you're not obligated. I'm just throwing it out there for you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my new channel. The link for that will be down below in the description box as well. And I am going to say, remember to live, love, and elevate, you guys. And I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Peace, fam.